get in here and let's get into some Diddy. Hold on, let me make sure. Is everybody oiled up? Are you oiled up? Hold on, let me bring my stuff back a little bit. Is everybody oiled up in this mother? Yeah. Because I'm oiled, I'm greasy. I got on a Diddy shirt today, okay? I got on a nice tight Diddy shirt. I got my oil here. I got everything. I'm ready to oil up and get into some things, okay? So no, seriously. So today, what is this, day 5? It's the end of the week. I'm so glad it's the end of the week because I'm tired, okay? So, so I got to the courthouse today. It was a mess. They did something new, I guess, because they had immigration happening today. So for the first half of the court, I didn't even get into the courtroom. I was in the overflow room, which actually wasn't bad. It just wasn't the courtroom. But I got into the overflow room. But it was okay, though, because the thing that didn't really kick off until later, and that's when I got into the courtroom. But let me tell you, so I got into the overflow room, and they picked up on the last bit of cross-examination for Cassie today. And it was a mess. I mean, Diddy's team went from winning and having me feeling like, okay, they're doing their big one, to kind of evening out the score, to be honest with you. If I'm being really serious, I don't know. Like, I want y'all to know this. I don't have a dog in the fight. And I'm being all serious. I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm just here for the best presentation. And I'm just here to see what the energy is leaning towards. Where is it going? Who does it feel like has a better case? Are they going to be able to prove the RICO? Are they going to be able to prove the trafficking? Are they going to be able to prove the prostitution charges, right? I feel like the coercion goes with the trafficking. I feel like they're trying to set the RICO up now. And I feel like it's clear that the prostitution is happening. But, you know, Diddy's team did do a good job early yesterday, you know, kind of discrediting Cassie. And we're going to get into that a little bit more. But today, they were a sloppy mess. They were a sloppy mess early on the first half of the show. Like, it's not even really much to even discuss because they were so sloppy. It was at a point where they were putting up wrong exhibits. They kept putting stuff up that wasn't even submitted for evidence. You know, like nobody had even vetted that. It was a mess. The lady had to keep she kept having to strike herself out, basically saying like, don't put this on the record. They kept having to tell the jury to, you know, never mind that statement, or don't even look at this evidence. Don't consider that. This wasn't even supposed to be here. That woman was fumbling earlier on today. So pretty much after the lunch break, it kind of got a little bit better, but they were just really trying to set the stage on how Cassie secretly was in love with Diddy and how she pretty much had like mental illness in a sense. She was love sickened. She needed to go to rehab, and the rehab facility, which they call a spa, one of the rehab facilities, you know, they cater to love addiction. And I didn't know that was a thing. Let me get my notes. Let me get my notes, because y'all, let me get it right. Okay. But before I get into that, Cassie had a sickening pinstripe suit on. It was sickening. A sickening. She looked like she could have been at the Met Gala. I live for her suit. It was sickening. She looked pretty today. She looked amazing. She had on this oversized, boxy, big cut pinstripe dandy type of suit. It was eating it up. And then she had like a big baby blue, like the suit was black with the white pinstripes, oversized, boxy, big coat, big pants. And then she had the oversized kind of like blue collar shirt on with the baby blue button up. It was fab, and it was really, really cute. So she looked good. So I'm gonna jump into some of the notes that they had, and I'll give you guys my opinion at the end, but it was a lot going on. So we got into the Cassie piece. They had a lady from Homeland Security come on and give us all the receipts, and show us all the evidence that they confiscated from Diddy's hotel room when they arrested him. And child, when we get to that, that's going to be a mess. Then after that, Don Richards comes in, and then the courtroom gags Diddy's defense. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're still not over there arguing. They want Don out of here. And I'm going to give you guys that tea towards the end, okay? But let's just wrap Cassie up for a little bit and let's get into, what happened. Because Cassie also had a major meltdown and some major tea came out about her too, okay? So we got a lot to discuss and I'm going to give you guys the tea. So, they just jumps right in. Can we pull up this exhibit? Diddy. I'm so horny for you. Cassie goes, you are? What's making you feel that way? Diddy. I've been feeling that way since Friday. Cassie, it's not a good vibe. We need a whole different vibe from Friday. Diddy said, yes, Friday. I don't even want to do that again. Then they struck that, right? And I didn't know where they was going with that. It was like, that's when they were having a bunch of issues. Then I was like, then they jumped over to, Cassie, and that broke. Cassie is playing like she doesn't remember anything. She doesn't know what happened. She's acting like she just don't know nothing. Because there was a picture that she posted of after she went to the Intercontinental Hotel. Remember when she got dragged and she got stomped out? Well, remember her lip was busted. We'll find out later why she did it. But see, she was playing games. See, Cassie, here's the thing about Cassie. Cassie's a little bit of a liar. She ain't all the way wrong. Don't get me wrong. But Cassie be lying. Just a little bit. Cassie be lying a little bit. It's no shade. What is that? So, anyway, so they pulled up the picture that she talked to the prosecution about, where she had the lip swollen after Diddy stomped her, kicked her, mollywopped her, and beat her down in the Intercontinental because she wanted to leave the freak off with Jules. And they said, well, why did you take this picture? She says she didn't know why she took the picture. I'm like, girl, you told us you took the picture because he messed your face up. You knew why you took the picture. So she was in there acting like she didn't know why she took the picture, which was crazy to me. So that was weird. She was acting like she didn't know nothing. It was an interesting story. She was talking about how they were setting the scene up for the big whammy at the end. So the defense's whole thing is discrediting Cassie, still about making her a freak. So they did that yesterday. So let me catch you up if you didn't watch the video yesterday. Yesterday, she was a cold-blooded freak. They set the stage with that when, she was dating Ryan Leslie. Then she got with him and dated Diddy. Then Diddy introduced her to Kid Cudi. Then she started dating Kid Cudi. Then, they was both on the drugs and Cassie was wanting the freak offs. So then we ended the day. So now we're still going into that, right? So now they're still setting the scene for Cassie to be for the big whammy. So a lot of this is centered around 2018, where Cassie says that Diddy forcefully right? So they're trying to discredit Cassie because what they're trying to say now is, well, you still had sex with him, your dates are mixed up. So they're slowly setting the scene for that. So she talks about, a time where she went to Diddy's doctor's appointment and Diddy said, text your mom. And she said, and let her know that you're okay. When she texted the mom and let her know that she was okay, when she texted the mom and let her know she was okay, she unlocked her phone. Diddy took the phone, okay, and ran down Wilshire a few hours late to go through her phone. A few hours later, she went to her mom's house, but then her mom called the police because she didn't have her phone. Okay? She got everything back, but Diddy found out that she was secretly dating a former NFL player. They didn't say the name. So they're setting it up to be like, okay, Cassie has been a cheater too. So she's still a hoe. Okay? Diddy would always take her phone when he felt like she was cheating. He would always take her phone when he feel like she was cheating. Okay. Um, Diddy thought then Diddy and Cassie got into it because there was a time where Diddy thought that Cassie um hold on. Diddy thought that Cassie was dancing on Chris Brown. So I don't know what happened with that, but Diddy felt like Cassie was doing a little freak off situation with Chris Brown. That never actually happened. Cassie was like, I don't remember that. I never did nothing with Chris Brown. We never danced. We never freaked off. There was never nothing happening with me and Chris Brown. Okay. She don't remember anything that happened with Chris Brown. Diddy would take her car, her phone, her passports, her watches, everything. Then they attempted to show that Cassie was violent. So remember, there was the DJ Wu kid that was friends with the guy named Sujit, which was supposed to be Cassie's friend. Now Sujit allegedly came to Cassie and was like, "I seen a freaky video of you," and Diddy was like, "Don't let Sujit get out of your sight." So Cassie ended up having to either go to New York or Miami, and she confronted Sujit about the video, right? So she's like, but Diddy also thought that she was fucking Sujit. But she was like, I'm not sleeping with Sujit. We're not doing nothing. We're not messing around. It's nothing like that. Me and Sujit are cool. That's my brother. But I'm going to figure out what happened with this video. I'm going to see where the video is at. I got to find out what's going on with that, right? So she gets up and meets up with Sujit. But on March 10th, 2013, Cassie went to her brother's birthday. It was like a bar, and she got into a fight. And she told Diddy, I almost had to kill a bit. So now they're setting the scene for her to be violent, angry, to kind of offset all the beating that Diddy did. Then they played this audio at Sujit's party. So Cassie's biological brother, she went to a birthday party with him. Now they played another one. Sujit is like her homie. So this is a different, this is like you're my brother that I met on, around the way, but you cool, so you my brother. So she was with her actual brother at a bar party, got into a fight with a girl. Now they've jumped over to her homie, Sujin. She went to his house. And long story short, he's like, I love you. He sounded drunk and high as hell. And she's like, so what's up? Like, who has this video of me? Who has this video of me? Who has this audio? Like, I can't have this stuff out about me. Who has it? Do you know anybody that has this video or this audio? And he's like, well, actually, I have the video. She like, you have the video? Well, let me see the video. And he like, well, I don't think he ever really showed her the video. He's like, I would never do that to you. I would never put it out there. I would never do nothing like that. You my sister. You my sister. She's like, so then they played the audio, Cassie. She said, we're going to hit that nigga. Whoever got the video, we're going to hit that nigga. Like, we're going to kill him. He like, no, I got the video. He like, well, she like, show me the video. Let me hear the video. Let me see it. He like, no. She like, but it's my fucking life. If you don't show me it, I will fucking kill you. Hide you in the fucking dirt, and I will kill you. You playing a game, mother. You playing with the wrong mother. You know what? Everybody can go. I guess it was going to be a bunch of people. It was a bunch of people at the party. So she like, everybody get the fuck out. You gonna stay here, motherfucker. I'ma kill you. I will kill you. You're playing games. I'm going to fuck you up. And it's not going to be on my head. It's going to be by somebody else. So I don't know if that was Diddy or what, but she was saying like, you know what, mother, you got the right one, and I'm finna kill you, you bitch ass nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? She had got like that real quick. She had got like that on that audio. And here's the thing, I felt her. First of all, it's no tea. If you're my friend and you got an incriminating video of that, and you playing games and you playing drunk and you want me to take shots and BS, and what you on? Like, really, what are you on? So I really wasn't mad. I feel like anybody in that situation would have done that. So I'm not mad at Cassie for that, because I definitely would have gave that. I definitely would have been on that. For sure. So then something came out about a secret recording with Jonathan Odie. Now, that was the guy that said that he was a slave, but they didn't know that Jonathan Odie had been secretly recording them during the freak-offs. Okay? Diddy spent a lot of time and money to try to make the videos disappear from Jonathan Odie. So they found out that Diddy would pay off a lot of people to get videos and stuff to go away. And if you think about it, Diddy has been doing this and getting away with this for a long time. It's literally been like 20 years this thing's been doing this. Like, let's just really think about it. Like, this thing has really been getting away with this for decades. So he's been spending a lot of money, shelling out a lot of money to make different things go away. Okay. She was very concerned about the audio and video that Jonathan had. She didn't trust him. She told Diddy about Odie, and he said that he was going to get rid of Odie. They said Diddy was very concerned about the videos being released. That's why she was upset, and he was upset. So they were planning on getting rid of Jonathan Odie. I don't know if they was going to kill that nigga or what, but they was going to get rid of him. So then we got into Cowboys for Angels, the website where you hired an escort. They say, you know, Cowboys for Angels was a TV show, right? Cassie's like, no. She's like, yeah, it's a TV show for gigolos. You know, the same escort, one of the escorts in the movie, you hired him for a freak off. She was acting like she didn't really know, and they were just jumping all over the place. She was acting like she didn't know what was going on. Then the defense jumped into Diddy won his money back for Alex Fine. And then I wrote, that was all over the place. The defense is frazzled and not organized. Then they went into Kid Cudi, and then that went left. And I wrote, the defense is flopping really, really hard. They're presenting the wrong evidence, and they're very sloppy. It's a mess. So then they went into a 45-day treatment center where Cassie had been staying. It's called Wheelhouse. And I guess now, even to this day, Cassie is on some medicine. I don't know how to say this. It's called buprenorphine porphyrin. Porphyrin. So it's for an opioid addict. So she's currently on medication right now to prevent her from having a relapse back onto opiates. Okay. However, I think after this and everything that happened with Diddy, she might end up popping another pill. It's no shade. And so the lady was so shady. That white reporter lady, that was the defense lady was so shady. Oh, she was so shady to Cassie. So she goes, well, you're in this facility and you're writing a document and you call it book. First of all, don't try me. I don't have a document that I'm calling book. Like, don't play with me. If I tell you I'm writing a book, I'm writing a book. But I guess she never got to write in the book. You know what I'm saying? So I guess it was just a document called book. But they said, the Wheelhouse facility, you know what else they do there, right? And she was like, well, no, like what else? She said, well, it's a facility. It's really like a rehab center for sex addiction sex compulsion, and love addiction. And I didn't even know love addiction was a thing. So I think that they're trying to play this thing, like they're playing this thing on Cassie, like, okay, you're really, really in love with Diddy. You're really, really compulsively in love. Um, and you're an addict for not just pills, but you're a sex addict too. And so they're leading her into, if you're following me, they're leading her into later on, they're gonna try to catch her up on this whole idea of her being raped or not. Because and in her memory being the fool because she was acting like she didn't remember certain things. So they want to discredit her by basically saying, well, girl, you don't know what happened and you're just talking because you were just so blissfully in love. You were addicted to sex, you were addicted to drugs, and you're a hoe. So you don't really know what's going on, but you said that this man raped you. Does that make sense? So they said they also do neurofeedback. And so they were like, well, do you know what neurofeedback is? So I guess neurofeedback opens your brain so that you can deal with the traumas and remember things from the past so that you can heal from it and move forward. So another angle I felt like they were trying to do was maybe they were going to use the fact that she did the neurofeedback and she got triggered. And this is why she did that lawsuit against Diddy, because she wanted to come for him because he traumatized her and she was dangerously in love with him. So they're trying to make her look mentally, emotionally unstable at this point, but an unstable hoe. You know what I'm saying? The only thing she's stable on is a piece of. So they basically hook your brain to a machine and they regularly test your brain. She did about 5 or 6 times once a week. It helped with the trauma, psychosis drama. It helps you recall traumatic memories. She was being treated for PTSD therapy. They said, the lady said, she said yesterday you said you're still developing, or you were still developing at 22. Cassie said, yeah, I did say I was still developing. I was, my brain, I didn't really know everything. She said, because she was basically saying, like, oh, you said that you got with Diddy and you were still developing, like you weren't fully a woman yet. And Cassie was like, yeah, that's the truth. The lady was like, well, you're 22 years old. Cassie was like, well, don't most women, like, I mean, your body is still developing at 22. Then they went out, then she jumped again. Then they went into Diddy. We have to have a proper freak off. Everything goes back to a freak off without ketamine. I hate K. So let me know when. Just let me know that moment you and I want to let me know, and I will fly in town, or I will fly in Dave. And then they start, oops, that's the wrong exhibit, this, then the third. I'm like, okay, this is crazy. And I wrote, this woman literally had to seek trauma therapy for this. Then we get into April 10th. They go then they jump to try to show that she wanted a freak off with a woman. So Cassie goes, text Diddy, freak off with a girl? Diddy says, what makes you want to do that? Then Diddy said, we need to do some soul searching to bring this relationship back to a point. We need to think about it. What do you feel about where we're at? Then Cassius goes, I'm the happiest when I feel in love with you. I know that I'm a problem and you don't really care for me right now, but I love you. It was a long message, but summarize it, that was along the line. She was like taking all the blame for everything. So that was weird. And I just didn't know where they were going with that. I'm like, okay, so where are we going with this? Like, where are we going with this? And now this is when it starts to get messy, because then they got their parents together, right? When did you start dating Alex Finn? She said, well, when I broke up with Diddy in 2018. But they said, but you were not really breaking up with him though. You were kind of still with him though. Like you didn't really break up because you were still talking to him. She was like, well, a break is a break. We were on a break. So we're like, to me, we weren't married. We weren't really together like that. So I mean, I was single. Like you can do what you want to do, like when you're single. So like I was no girl, you were overlapping. You were dating him while you were dating Diddy. It's no shade. And they were like, well, you said you went back many times. So you can't act like, you know, you weren't dating Diddy. You were on a break. Okay, you were on a break. Okay, that's how you justified it. But she continued to deal with Diddy after that. She was visibly uncomfortable. She was getting real uncomfortable. She was getting real uncomfortable. Okay. So she said August 8, 2018, she was supposed to be, the conversation was supposed to be closing, and she was no longer dating. They were supposed to have a closing conversation, her and Diddy. But the thing is, I felt like Cassie was nervous because she hadn't seen a lot of the exhibits or the receipts. She hadn't had enough time to read over the paperwork that they were presenting to her, right? She wanted to have a closing conversation with Diddy. They want to have a conversation about closure and this and that, da, 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 da. But because they were no longer together, but she was dating her now husband, Alex Finn, right? So Diddy was trying to say he wanted to make things right with her. I told my family and everything, and I gave you and I took care of you. Let me just make things right. And she says, I didn't need you to take care of me. Take care, take care of Kim and Gina. I needed you to put me first. Oh no, she said, I didn't need you to take care of me. I didn't need you to take care of Kim, Sarah, and Gina. I needed you to put me first. I just don't trust you anymore. That last shot, it just did something to me. You wanted me to be a machine and just accept your apology. Brian Steele and them looking like, what the hell is going on? Because the defense lady is all over the place. It's a mess. It's a mess. They're confused. She's jumping all over the receipts. They can't figure it out. Then we jump back to the. So Cassie told everybody that Diddy raped her in 2018 in August. But then she said to them yesterday that she was raped in 2018 in September. But the problem was a day after, or a day or days before August 18th, she was talking about hit me up when you can. I'm trying to hang out with you. What's going on? I like you. I love you. And she was sending them text messages like they was talking. And it was like, well, girl, if he raped you, how are you talking to him like y'all want to hang out? So Cassie had her dates mixed up. So they don't know if she got raped in September, if she got raped in August, because in August, she's trying to with the nigga, but in September, she had already the nigga, they hanging out. So it's like, well, when did he rape you? Because the day after y'all kick in, the day before y'all kick in, so it doesn't feel like you were ever, because you also telling the nigga come over. So they caught her up there because they like, okay, this girl don't know what she's talking about. Okay. Um, and so they're trying to figure out, how do we get to the next stage here in the case? Because it's looking a little frazzled. It's like flopping all over the place, and they can't really corner Cassie the way that they want to corner her, in my opinion. So Diddy, then they go into text messages about Diddy. So when Cassie texts Diddy, or I guess apparently Diddy was dating his yoga instructor. So Cassie said, I heard you're dating. This was Cassie's excuse to start dating again, I guess. I heard you're dating. I didn't know that. Diddy said, no dates, no dinner, nothing. Why would you think that? Do you want to start dating? And then Diddy says, I don't want to have a conversation where you don't want to be with me anymore. I need you. Cassie said, that's fine. Diddy said, can I hold you? This is September 2018. Can I hold you? Or are you just going to break up with me? Because I think Cassie wanted to have a conversation with him, but her conversation was about closure, because at this time she's dating Alex Finn, but she haven't told Diddy. So she's like, well, I want to talk in person. And she was dating Alex. At some point, her friends, he finds out that she was sleeping with Diddy. And she was not raped. So apparently September 27th, 2018, she went and Diddy. Mind you, this is the time where Alex Finn is calling her on FaceTime. Diddy comes over to hang out, talk to her for a minute. She declines the call from Alex Finn because she's getting porked up in a freak off with Diddy. Mind you, I'm sitting there, I'm looking at Alex. Alex is visibly uncomfortable. He's sitting in the courtroom while she's basically telling the world that she cheated on him. Now, she wasn't going to say that. The defense led her into that. They was like, so you know, after Diddy you, whatever the case may be, you then still had consensual, you consensually had sex with Diddy, right? And this is while you were dating your husband. Your now husband. And she said, yes. The courtroom gasped. Ooh. And all you see is everybody doing this, looking over at Alex. Alex is sitting there looking crazy. I'll be surprised if Cassie is still with that man after this. I'm going to be honest with you. I'll be really surprised if Cassie is with this man after this, because she was still fucking Diddy after he allegedly fucked her. She went and had consensual sex with Diddy while she was in a relationship with Alex Finn. So now let's follow this. You went from Ryan Leslie, cheated on him with Diddy, cheated on Diddy with Kid Cudi, got back with Diddy, then was cheating on Diddy with Ryan Finn, your personal trainer, then got back with, then Diddy you, then you went back and consensually had sex with Diddy, but you was in a relationship with Ryan Finn. All these men are connected to Diddy. Ryan Leslie introduced you to Diddy. Diddy used to introduce you to Kid Cudi. Diddy booked your trainer for you. This is why Diddy ended up wanting all his money back from the trainer, because you were having a secret affair with the trainer, or to just go back and have a secret affair with Diddy. Y'all should have just had the freak off. In my opinion, Alex Finn. It was a mess. It was a mess. It was a mess. I wrote Alex Finn is punching the wall right now. Cassie told her husband that Diddy raped her, but Diddy didn't rape her that night. So here's what I think. I think that, I'm going to be honest with y'all, I don't think that Alex Finn really knows the real story. I think that he got one story from Cassie, and now the real story is coming out. Now she's saying that he eventually told her the story. She allegedly told him the story, this, that, and the third. I don't know if I fully believe that, because I feel like a lot of these, the order at which these things were happening and what actually happened, I think she was gagged and he was gagged. Then you see Cassie trying to make awkward smiles and stuff. It's like, no, girl, you cheated on your husband with Diddy. It's no tea. But that wasn't it. That wasn't it. She was telling Diddy that she feel lost and needs love. She would text Diddy, I'm feeling so lost, I need love. Mind you, she's with Alex Finn. She was upset. This is all why she's in a relationship. She was upset that he was talking to Gina, and she hated the fact that he said that Kim Porter was his soulmate. So, mind you, she goes to Atlanta to go to Kim Porter's memorial service. I guess Diddy had posted on his Instagram that Kim Porter was his soulmate. She didn't like that. So she left, didn't go to the rest of the festivities. That was the last time she apparently talked to Diddy. But she felt like, you're still dealing with Gina, and how dare you say that Kim Porter is your soulmate, and I've been with you for a consistent 11 years. Kim Porter, Gina. She was pissed. She texted him, what was the 11 years about? Then she said that, Diddy tried to contact her through various different people. However, she didn't want to talk to him. Okay. And then the judge is being shady and saying, so not the judge. And then because remember, Diddy said Kim Porter was the love of his life, right? White lady. Then she gonna say, and then you stopped talking to Diddy and you went and got married to the love of your life. Then Cassie talking about something, and everybody looking around like, yeah, right. Yeah, me too. Yeah, yeah, right. So now we go to lunch. We come back. Now I'm inside the courtroom so I can really get into some things. So the first thing I write down is Cassie's credibility. Cassie credibility is discredited. Her story is feeling like it was all over the place. Okay. And they feel like, the prosecution just feel like Cassie's story has been discredited. They're trying to destroy her credibility, and they're trying to make this more about her being in love with Diddy and not being concerned about her life and her future. So that was the prosecution's big gripe. They're like, I don't like the way that this is going, because they're trying to make it seem like Cassie was just so enthralled with Diddy and she didn't give a damn about herself. But then I wrote, the defense continues to show incorrect exhibits. Okay. So here we go. 2009. This is where things heat up again. They say, well, have you continued to talk to Diddy? She's like, well, yeah, even after 2018. Yeah. None of us knew that. None of us knew that. So Diddy texted her, hey, you, just checking on you, just sending some love. Mind you, she's in a relationship now. It's 2019. Cassie goes, no, Diddy goes, congratulations, Cass. You're going to make a beautiful mother. Sending you love and light. I had a dream about you the other night. It's crazy. And then Cassie writes, no, he writes, I know you're happy. I miss my best friend. Frankly, Frankie, and I hope Frankie is doing so well. And Frankie is doing so well. Cassie writes on March 2nd, I miss you too. Thank you. And then Diddy goes, same. I've been reflecting a lot. Shit has been rough without our friendship. You're my ride or die. You're one of the greatest women in the world. I'm so happy to know you. Don't hate me. I need a second. And then I'm so happy to know that you don't hate me. Then I get some time roll by. Then Cassie writes back in 2020. I needed a second to gather my thoughts. Sorry, The things you said blew my mind. We do need to talk and get closure and an understanding. And they said, did you get that closure? And why did you need time? The lady said, you were his ride or die, weren't you? As the greatest woman in the world. That message was full of emotion, wasn't it? And Cassie was just like, yeah, I appreciated that. It was very heartfelt. It was the message I was looking for a long time. And she's like, yeah, that's what you've always wanted. This was the defense said. This is what you've always wanted. She's on, that's what I wanted then. So Cassie was trying to make sure that she wasn't like, I want it now. I wanted it then. So then they pull up a text of Cassie and say, this is what Cassie told Diddy. I wouldn't be at this beautiful point in my life without you. That's what she told Diddy. And Diddy's right, tears of joy. I hope you can forgive me. You deserve the world. And I say this with all the respect to your marriage. Hopefully we get it. Hopefully we get to talk and tell your mom and pop I said hi. Alex Finn is sitting in the courtroom. Alex Finn is sitting in the courtroom while all this is going on. And I'm over here like, girl. So let's continue. So then, hold on, I'm trying to figure out where we at. Where are we at with it? No, I don't know if we're here. I want it to be the first prosecution. I wanted was Diddy love of my life? How was Cassie affected? Okay, so boom. Now they started to move on to the husband. They started trying to get into Cassie coin, setting the husband up. So Cassie, well, Alex fine. So they get into the husband. They say, so after you broke up with Diddy, you got with your husband, you guys moved in with your mom's house. You moved into your mom's house. Huh? Insinuating they were broke. I'm just going to give it to you like me. They were saying, you got this man. They're like, your husband, he's what, a fitness trainer or something? And so, you were relying on his money for a while, living with your parent. Alex was making a little bit of money as a personal trainer. And you were supposed to be going on tour, but that never happened. So essentially they were saying, you were broke. And so you got to watch it. You were broke in 2023. You were supposed to, remember, now we in 2023. So they basically said in 2023, the funds got low. You moved to Connecticut with your mama because you were broke. And you got this man, he ain't got no money. Cassie was like, well, no, we just left LA. She's like, no, well, okay. I'm just saying, you went from Diddy, this big mansion, and you went to this little, like, your mom's house, like a little modest lifestyle. You went from Met Galas to this, to that. And, what happened to your tour? Because you also settled your lawsuit in 24 hours. And is that why you didn't go on tour? I mean, you didn't need the money, right? I mean, because you needed the money at first, but you don't need the money now. So you settled it. Cassie's like, well, no, that's not what happened. So long story short, they were basically trying to say, girl, you filed this lawsuit because you needed the money and he was broke. Then somehow we jump back into Freak Offs 2012. Diddy says, I want to freak off for the last time. Cassie responded, I don't want to freak off for the last time. I want to freak off for the first time, like it's for the rest of our lives. No further questions, Your Honor. She said, Diddy said, I want to freak off for the last time. Cassie says, I don't want to freak off for the last time. I want it to be the first time for the rest of our lives. Freak off. The lady said, no further questions. The prosecution, they come and they do their redirect again. I'm horny. Just come over. I don't want to see you put in any emotion right now. What? Okay, so they was just basically trying to say, like, how was Cassie affected by Diddy? How was Cassie affected by the freak offs? This, that, and the third. And they also asked Cassie, did she have any pending lawsuits? And so Cassie said no. They asked Cassie, was she making any money from doing this case? The prosecution, they said no. Right? And so Cassie then goes into says, so then they start trying to bring it back to how Diddy opened up a world of chaos for her in her life and how he was always supposed to seduce her all day. So this is the reason why she would talk like that in the text messages, because Cassie would say, it was my job to seduce him. It was my job. It wasn't that I wanted to do it. It's just that's how he wanted to talk. So I felt like I had to talk to him like that. She made it seem like, her career would fall apart when she got with Diddy, which it did. Because remember, Cassie was hot. She had the Me and You. Got a long way to go. She was doing her thing. And then she signed to Diddy, and then we never heard Cassie music again. We only heard nothing. Honestly, we didn't really get much of Cassie after that. And we was like, damn, that's what made, because we didn't know that she was being stuck from the back and stuck from the front and freak offs and getting pissed on. She said that what happening is, if she would get offered music video gigs, she got offered to be in a music video with Common. Diddy said no. She would have to cancel work and be obligated for freak offs. She couldn't be nothing else but a sex worker. That was her job. They objected to that. She said she blocked Diddy, but he was still contacting her. Then they wanted to know, well, did drugs ever make you violent? She said drugs never made her violent. They said, well, what kind of things would Diddy do to you? He would hit me. He would stomp me. He would punch me. That's why I left the freak off at the hotel. So the feds keep establishing physical abuse and kidnapping and coercion. That's what they're trying to do. So now let's get into the rape and about how she was alleging that she was raped and all that stuff. So they said, do you have any doubt that Diddy raped you? She says no. After they said, did you have consensual Diddy again? She said yes. Then while Diddy, her husband, Alex Finn, called. That came out again. So they said, hold on. They said the settlement was for tour after she filed her civil suit. I was overwhelmed. It was a lot. Oh, so then they asked her, why did you cancel your tour? Because the defense was asking her, like, well, you canceled your tour when you got that $20 million. So the prosecution came back and they said, okay, please, can you elaborate on why you canceled the tour? Because Cassie told them that she canceled the tour for other reasons. She told the defense that she didn't really want to give them too much. So what she ended up doing, the prosecution came back and cross-examined her and asked her, well, why did you actually cancel your 2024 tour in Australia? once you got the lawsuit money or the settlement money. She said, honestly, I just want to be at home with my kids. After I put all my business out there, the way that I did it, it went super viral. Everybody talked about it. I just wasn't in the headspace to go on a tour. And when I heard that, that makes sense. It's Alex Fine. Sorry, y'all. Alex Fine. Y'all know who he is. So anyway, but yeah, that makes sense. Because I don't think I would want to go on a tour after all of that either. You feel me? I got all that going on. I literally exposed this man in November. I'm supposed to go on tour in January, February. I don't know. And I got my money. She didn't want to say that, but she got her money. She said it was a lot going on. And now this is what they asked her. They said, in so many words, was the $20 million worth it? If you could do it all over again, would you do it and take the 20 million or would you walk away? And she, I wouldn't take the 20 million. I wouldn't take the 20 million. I would walk away. I would have my agency and autonomy. What is agency and autonomy? And then she's crying because she wouldn't have took the money because she would be able to have a career and she would live her life. And then they said, the prosecution, as she crying, and they said, how did it feel with Diddy and those two dicks when they choked you out and pissed down your throat? And she, Objection, Your Honor. Take with the defense. The defense said, objection, Your Honor. Because they was about to, because when she started crying, the prosecution was going there. After what she fell out, then they said, how did it feel for them two dicks to stand over you and choke you out with piss? And she just, and that defense said, objection. I'm over here like, girl, I know these people, it's not about to carry like this in here. I know they're not about to do this in here. And then they said, how many times would Diddy fuck you with a UTI? All the time with a UTI. Excuse me. Keep going. Keep going. Just keep going. The bailiff's finna come from the back because she damn near fell out. She fell out in court. And she just keep going. Just keep, it's okay. Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep asking the questions. And I'm over here like, oh my God. And so I'm just like, this girl, this is a lot going on. And I got Cassie falls out in court. And then she talked about how he would fuck me with the UTI. And they asked her, how many times during the freak-offs would he beat you? Then she said, oh, all the time. He would hit me during the freak-off. Then she fall out crying again. He hit her during the freak-off. He bit her during he punched her during the freak-off. He boxed her out during the freak-off. Straight from the shoulders. In the freak-off. And she said, I was open in the beginning to the freak-offs. But I felt like I couldn't say no. I worried for my safety. And the fact that, honestly, he may not want to be with me. And so that's just kind of what it was. She was worried that he may not want to be with her anymore. Then the lady in the front of me, she doing this. I ain't gonna lie, I was crying a little bit too in there. The lady in front of me doing this. She cried. I'm like, is this Cassie friend? Because she really, the people in the back, they come and tapping on her. Are you okay? Because I'm thinking, this woman is really crying. She, and she in the public, like, she have nothing to do with the case. She don't have nothing to do with the case. So now the defense comes back and they redirect. So they redirected on the fact that she made it seem like she wasn't making no money. She couldn't work with DIDDY, you know, because the defense has one more time to redirect. So the defense comes in and they're pretty much saying, hey, y'all were doing drugs. DIDDY gave you opportunity because he was Puff Daddy. Cassie says, because he was like, you know, you got Met Galas, you got red carpets, you know people, you've been given opportunities. Like you've just been given stuff. Cassie's like, no, some things were given. Then she snapped out of the tears. She was like, some things were given, but a lot of things were earned. So I was like, oh, okay. Mostly earned. He said, but he got you a record deal and everything. She said, I had to fight my way out of my deal. Basically started that with DIDDY and she couldn't work. Then the lady started breaking down, you know, well, you had a Rockabye Baby mixtape. You did records with Lil Wayne, Rick Ross, white lady, Pusha T. She doing all that. Nicki Minaj. Basically, she's trying to say that you did work. And then she goes, let's just be honest. You've always been self-conscious about your talent, your musical talent. Cassie was like, no, like what? And I wrote, the defense is trying her. Because they were trying to set her up and say basically like, you know, DIDDY gave her the groundwork for her career. So she's like, you really several. Then DIDDY started passing notes. So because the white lady, she didn't know all this. She didn't know. That's why they whispered her in the ear, Pusha T, Lil Wayne. She talking about Pusha T. I know there's more. They're gonna tell me there's more people you work with. Nicki Minaj. You done and then DIDDY was writing down notes. Now they're passing the sticky notes over to the pit so that the white lady could read it off. Then she wrote, you've also released several music videos under Bad Boy. She said, yeah. And so basically that was establishing that, girl, you were able to work. But if we know, you know how we know. We know Cassie ain't been done since she got with DIDDY. And that was a long time ago. You ain't made no money. And we all know that DIDDY owns the rights to everything. And you damn sure ain't got no money, Cassie. You definitely didn't get no money from that. So then the defense said, so you said that you don't have any pending lawsuits. She said, I don't. She said, you don't? You don't have any pending lawsuits? You don't have any settlements? Nothing. Cassie, no. She said, so you didn't sue or you didn't settle with the Intercontinental Hotel? You didn't receive a settlement from them? She said, no, I didn't receive anything. Okay, so you didn't receive anything, but are you not waiting on a settlement from them? She said, well, I didn't sue them, but yeah, we did settle. So everybody doing this. And they said, well, how much was it for? No, she said, how much was it for? And she said, 10 million. And everybody in that motherfucking courtroom was like, whoo. But it was like, you can't say nothing, but I heard everybody. She gonna try to quietly, ain't no way to quietly say it softly and cry, 10 million? Ain't no way, there's no way you can do that. Like, there's no way. And so even the jury, everybody just, and it was you know how when black people are, all black people see the same thing and feel the same thing, I feel like at that moment, everybody in that courtroom was black And we all heard, nigga, what? Get her. Like, we all didn't give up. We all didn't give up about her at that. 10 more. You mean you got 10 more $1 million? Cause did you see the black girl next to me? She gonna do this. Wait, you can't even see my leg. Look, she gonna do this. And and then me, I get the paper like this. Whoo, 10. Look at this. 10 million. It's writ big. $10 million. Cause then we start hating. This bitch got $10 million. You think I give a fuck about it? So now we in her pockets. You got this wrong ass nigga that you with, she a hoe anyway, and she a drug. All she finna do is go get slutted out and bite on a bunch of dope. Why can't I get $20 million? He could whoop my ass in the Intercontinental. I did it for 5. Shit. And I did it, and I would have went to the freak off. She's sitting up here crying, girl, you got $30 million. I don't feel bad for you. Get her up out of here. She wastes my damn time. I'm over here hungry, but I ain't paying my rent this month. I'm sitting up on here playing games with you. You sitting there, you so hurt, but you secretly got an extra 10 million on the side and ain't said nothing. And we supposed to feel bad for you. And my ass is itching because I can't afford wipes. I got to use toilet paper. And I ain't used toilet paper to wipe my ass since I was a kid. Now I done went fuck around and got to go, and then I got to get the cheap toilet paper because I ain't got no money like that. You sitting up here crying on $10 to $30 million. You better get your freak on and get your freak off and get out my face. I can't even wipe my ass in peace. I usually like the dude wipes, but they high. They high right now. They high. They real high right now. You know what I'm saying? And you over here crying, and you got an extra $10 million in the tuck, and you ain't said nothing about it. We get offended and stuff. Like, she's supposed to just come on and just tell us, hey guys, I just settled for $10 million yesterday, because that would have been a problem too, because then she would have been bragging. You see, you can't win for losing with black people. So I'm be the first one to tell you, ain't no winning for losing with me. Because if she'd have came out and said, hey guys, you know what? I just settled for another $10 million. I'd have been like, she's a hoe anyway. Can't stand that hoe. I cannot. So you mean to tell me she got the 20 million for that? She was in on the freak off anyway. But then when she don't tell you, oh, this nigga didn't even try to tell me that she got 10 million. So she's sitting around there for 30 million. She want me to feel bad for her? That bitch should have said something. About that bitch. You know us. We don't like either way. It don't even matter. If she say something, it's a problem. If she don't say nothing, it's a problem. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be honest with you. She deserved that money. I'm being facetious. I'm being funny, but 30 million ain't enough. That woman is not right. That woman is not, her headspace is just not where it's at, okay? The headspace is just not all the way there. I'll be honest with you. So then the prosecution came back and they said, I just got one more question for you, Cassie. Does this, because they were, because the defense was trying to make it seem like, girl, you got more money. Like I just said, when people feel like you're getting money, people don't have sorry for you. They don't feel sorry for you. They don't feel pity for you. So now the jurors think, well, she got a $30 million payout, girl. She just wanted money. She was living at home. She moved back to Connecticut in 2023. She was broke. She's got this boyfriend. She got 3 kids. She don't really have no career. She ain't with Diddy. She don't have a lifestyle no more. She got a fitness trainer boyfriend. They living at home with their parents. She sued Diddy. She canceled her tour because she got the $20 million, and then she got an extra 10 on the side. This was a money grab. This was a money grab because she would have went on tour if it wasn't a money grab, but the $20 million said, hey, I'm not going on tour, but she really wanted 30. So she found another way. Because remember, she asked for 30, settled for 20, and then on a back end sued the Intercontinental. Well, not sued, but settled with the Intercontinental for the extra 10. So she ended up getting her 30 million. So that's what the defense is trying to say. She was looking for a payday because she was broke. That's what they saying. She was broke. So then the prosecution comes and they're like, well, Tell them that you're not getting paid. There's no financial incentive for you to get paid on this trial or sitting up here. They're like, no. So then the defense goes back up and says, tell them that you settled this last week before you sat down here. She just settled for $10 million before she came to testify. I'm feeling like, is that why you agreed to testify? She literally just got the $10 million settlement done last week. She was like, well, it's not a week ago. It was last month. It was before the case. So I don't know what that means, but, then they moved Cassie along. So y'all ready? Because we're talking for a minute today. Now we get into another witness. This witness is a special agent, which I like to call super cops. Her name is Yazin Binda. She's a nice Indian Hindu lady. She works for HSI, which is Homeland Security. Okay, she works in the human trafficking unit in crisis, in the crisis department. Okay, or crisis resolution or resonator. I don't know. Can't read my right on that, but it's the human trafficking and crisis unit. So they asked her, "Who did you subpoena to court?" And I was trying to figure out, well, what's the tea with this? Paul Arthur. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, Paul Arthur Legay. Paul Arthur Legay is here. But she subpoenaed him in March 27th of 2024. They subpoenaed him to court in Los Angeles. They asked her, where she was doing, what was she working on? She was at the Park Hyatt in apartment 2115 for Sean Combs. That's where she arrested Sean Diddy Combs. So they showed a picture of the hotel where they arrested P. Diddy. Then they showed they showed the hotel. So we're going to go into the hotel room, okay? So they got videos and pictures of the hotel. So then they asked her, what was your role when you got to the hotel room? And she says, I was the photographer at the hotel room. So they said, okay, well, let's take us into the hotel room. So we go into room 2115. So they take us into the hotel room. Take a picture of the entrance, take a picture of the hallway, take a picture of the living room, take a picture of bathroom, closets, whatever. So boom. Now we're going to get into the evidence. They said, was there any evidence found when you got your warrant? And what time did you go in there? They said we went in there at 11 p.m. at night and we found multiple things, multiple pieces of evidence that we brought in. So let's get into the items. Soon as you walk in the door, it's given hand out, oil up. Immediately off the rip is 5, and this is not even the right kind. In a Ziploc bag is 4 bags of baby oil off the jump. So when you walk in that motherfucker, you better be glowing. You just walk in there and you oil up. You actually slide in that motherfucker. So you hit the door, baby, it's 4 bottles of baby oil. 4 bottles of baby oil in a Ziploc bag. Off the rip. Off the muscle. Boom. Done. Then right next to that is 2 bottles of Astroglide. Off the muscle. That's off the rip. You sliding right in there. You don't even walk in Diddy house. You just glide in that motherfucker. You just open the door and you just slide into some ass. You know what I'm saying? You just like go right into some ass. So then you slide into some ass, and when you make a right onto Nuts Way on the hallway, there's a hard drive placed ready for you to be recorded as you're gliding through the ass of the place. So I'm sure you probably butt naked and oiled up, hole out, mouth open, sliding through Diddy house. The camera's up recording, the hard drive's plugged in. Before you make it to the open area, you're sliding through. Then they found mood lighting. It was a big speaker box, like a DJ. Like imagine a DJ with a DJ light setup. So the Diddy lights was on, and it was like flickering. So now you slid into the frame, into some ass in the Diddy lights. So you just, and it's just ready. You might as well just take everything off and let's just go for it. Let's just turn off all the lights and here we are at the Diddy party. You know what I'm saying? Turn it down. Just take everything off, oil it up. Let me give you a little light. Let me just give you a little light because you don't need much. We're at the Diddy party now. You know what I'm saying? Let me oil it up. It's the Diddy party. So I'm going to oil it up right here. So I got to make sure I'm there to do the commentary. So I'm oiled up. I'm ready. Okay. Now we're at the party. Okay. So I'm at the party now. Okay. You see the lights in the back. The light is low. I'm sliding in at the Diddy party. I'm ready. Okay. And so now I'm here at Diddy's house. So now whenever you go to somebody's house, sometimes you have to go pee. And so when you go to the bathroom, you're introduced to 5 bottles of baby oil sitting in the bathtub. Inside the bathtub. So now I have to take everything off in here and put a little oil over here now because I'm in the bathroom. So now I got to oil all up in here and oil down there. And so now I'm really at the Diddy party. Okay? Because now I'm in the bathroom. I'm oiled up. And I'm ready to go. That's the next stop. It was 5 of those bottles. Okay? Then, to get you relaxed, they found a bottle of pills under the name of Frank Black in a little Louis Vuitton bag. So he'd douse you with a pill, put it in your water. In a Louis Vuitton bag, you just take a little pill, you get ready, get naked, you squirt the baby oil all over you, okay? And so now, after that, you pull out the pink shit. And so, you know what? To hell with it. We're at the Diddy party. We're at the Diddy party. Just take it all off. We're at the Diddy party. We're at the Diddy party. Take the drawers off. Take it all off. We're at the Diddy party. Okay? So now I'm at the Diddy party for real. Now he gives me, now not me, but you. Now it's time to take the pink shit. And I'm like, well, what? There was 2 big bags of the pink dust. And I'm like, well, what's the pink dust? Well, they looked it up. The pink dust was 2 bags of ketamine and MDMA. And so I'm not really sure what you do to that with that. I don't know if you snort that, you licked it. I never did that before. So I don't know. So then they got the pink dust. You do that. And then there's 2 phones in there. Okay. Then after that, you should be good and high. You're oiled up. You're naked. The lights is on. You're high as shit. The freak off commences. You're doing whatever. And then when it's time to go, because we're done now, there was a fanny pack that you grab by the door with a cash reward of $9,000 that you take out or you leave. They found all that at Diddy party. I mean, at Diddy Hotel. Okay? So you walk in, you oil up, you glide down to the living room, you get caught on camera, you turn on the lights, you might go pee, you oil your butt cheeks and everything else up, you take a drop of the pill, you hit the ketamine, then you freak Diddy off, and then you take your payment on your way out. Yep. And so the kids is in the courtroom looking at all of that. Hold on, let me put my drawers back on. I'm leaving. Okay, I left the Diddy party now. So the kids is in there looking at this. And they over there shaking their head like, I can't believe my daddy is freaked out like this. They over there gagging. Because their daddy is freaked out like that. And so they told the lady, you can get off the stand now. So they let her get off the stand after she exposed all of Diddy's, I think it was about, in total, it was 10 bottles of baby oil, 2 bottles of Astroglide, 2 bags of dope, bunch of pills under Frank Black. It was $9,000 cash, a hard drive. They confiscated 2 phones, one from him and one from his assistant, because she was in on it too. And then they confiscated the Diddy lights. That's a mess. So that was that. Then they called their next witness, Don Richard. She comes like an angry, she looked pissed off. Like, why is she so fucking mad? I mean, I get it, but they say, hi. You're Don Richard, how old are you? She said, I'm 42 years old. They asked her, did she see Diddy? Shandi, right there. She pointed right at and Diddy doing it. She pointing at him. That's that nigga right there. There he is. So they asked her, hey, when did you meet Cassie? Did you, because the whole thing is, she's supposed to be verifying or like adding to Cassie's testimonial to add to the fact that the trafficking was a thing. You get what I'm saying? So she says she met Cassie in 2025. She was seen with Cassie a lot, okay? She said that she saw Cassie was attacked. Cassie was kicked, beat over food. She said she saw Diddy beat Cassie often. She was a part of Dirty Money from 2009 to 2011. She worked at the studio at Diddy's house. She would be in Miami, Los Angeles, New York. And she was at Diddy's house recording records. Cassie was cooking eggs at night. Diddy was not on the same level. Diddy was at the top floor. They were downstairs. Cassie was on the middle level making eggs. Diddy just out of the blue said, Cassie, bitch, where the fuck is my food, ho? Then he said, you never get shit right. Then proceeded to backhand the shit out of Cassie with the skillet. Like, what? What? Over some eggs. I guess she didn't do something with the eggs right. And she said, bitch, where's my food at? You never do right. This, and then picked up the skillet and backhanded the shit out of Cassie. Cassie turns in a tornado and hits to the ground. Then I guess she said he did the power driver, punched her, kicked her, and stepped on her. Then choked her up, grabbed her by her hair, and drug her upstairs. beat her ass some more. And all she heard was glass breaking and windows shattering and things falling all over the ground. And they asked her, they said, well, did you do anything? She said, no. They said, well, did you try to help? Did you call the police? Did you do anything? She said, no. They said, she said, Cassie just dropped to the fetal position and he just punched and kicked Cassie. She said she didn't call the police because he would always beat Cassie. And if he would beat his girlfriend, what would he do to me? Then she said the next day, this is when the prosecution got pissed. I mean, not the prosecution. This is when the defense got mad. Because he said the next day, Diddy took her. Diddy called Diddy called them to the studio the next day and said, what you saw last night was passion. That was nothing but passion. Everything will be okay. He said, I'm taking y'all to the top. And don't talk too much, because where I come from, people that talk too much come up missing. And then Don said that frightened her. And then all of a sudden, Diddy's lawyer stand up. Objection, Your Honor. Objection. 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 So now they have to do a sidebar. Come back from the sidebar. They release Don. So now Diddy's lawyer says, listen, Diddy's shaking his head. Diddy's lawyer said Don's a complete liar. This is a complete lie, and her testimony should not be validated, and it should not be admitted in court, because this is not about her. This is about Cassie. How are we making it about her? Hell, Cassie never even brought that up in her testimony. Cassie, we never heard anything about a skillet. And then they're gonna ask. I forgot to tell you this. Then they ask the prosecution gonna ask Don what kind of skillet Diddy backhand her with, and she said, "Hell, I don't know, a black skillet." And so, but the defense was like, Cassie never brought up a skillet. She never brought up eggs. She never brought up being at the house and getting hit and getting drug up. So why are we bringing? We're not. That her story is not valid. Quite frankly, it's a lie, and I don't think it should be admitted in court. So they were arguing for like 15, 20 minutes because he just feels like it's some bullshit and it should not be in the courtroom. But the prosecution is saying, well, hey, no. She's helping prove this trafficking and the enterprise of it all, because this is the coercion. The whole point is, when it comes to Cassie and the freak-offs, she was coerced and afraid to defend herself because she was always getting beat. And now you have another witness saying that they saw Cassie being beat. And in order to get the enterprise, you have to have other people around that are fearful or intimidated because of the same thing. So the prosecution is basically saying, hey, this dude intimidates multiple people, threatens multiple people. So that is part of the enterprise, which makes me feel like that's a part of the racketeering and the RICO that they're trying to set up. So they're saying her story is very much so valid, but the defendant is saying this ain't about how she feel or her being threatened or her fearing for her life. She should only corroborate Cassie's story, and we shouldn't hear about her fearing for her life. So they don't really want Dawn back in the courtroom at all. So they sent her on her way today. They don't really want her testimony to be included. They just they don't want none of that, because they're saying that it's irrelevant and it never happened because Cassie never talked about it and Don is a liar, pretty much. That's what they're saying. So there was a lot going on, y'all. And so that was my day today. Shout out to the 23,000 people in the chat. We've been having 20K consistently. If you guys haven't done so, please like the video and also subscribe to the channel. All right. I want to say shout out to y'all for doing y'all biggest one. I really love y'all for that. You know what I mean? Donate to the Venmo. Please follow me on Instagram because we're trying to get to at least 100K by the end of the trial. So if you haven't done so, the link is in the bio. I don't know if Aubrey O'Day is coming. I don't know if Aubrey's coming. I heard that she's in New York. People are speculating that she's coming, so it'll be interesting to see if she does come. So we'll see what happens, but I love y'all all. I will see y'all Monday. If I have time tomorrow, because I got to get my life together, I may do a call-in show where we can recap things that have happened over the weekend. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and like the video, please. It costs nothing to like the video. Please like the video. Somebody said, that's it. We've been on here for an hour and a half. But all right. I love y'all. Stay oiled up. And if it ain't heated, you can't beat it. All right. Or don't beat it until you heat it. All right, y'all. I love y'all. And I will see y'all Monday for sure.